Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. For this week, we're going to pick up where we left off at the end of the middle of the semester with The Miller's Tale, which is this farce that essentially is making fun of all of the tropes of courtly love. And we're going to move into looking at a couple of, or several sonnets from Philip Sidney and Shakespeare that are based on these ideals of courtly love, but they take two very different approaches to it, and I'm curious to see what you think. The first thing that I'd like for you to read is a selection from a textbook that I used to use in this class. It's really helpful in understanding the sonnets and what their form and how they're constructed. And each Renaissance writer, in some cool ways, does something unique with the sonnets. You've got some historical forms from Petrarch in Italy that come over in sonnets, and then you have a couple of writers that are riffing on that sonnet form. So it's a fascinating genre of poetry, and these in particular are some very well written sonnets that I've always enjoyed. So I want you to consider as you're reading this. First with Sidney, he told us last week in the Defense of Poesy that fiction's obligation is to teach and delight in order to prompt virtue. So I'd like to hear if you choose to write on this topic. Do you think that these sonnets, Astrophil and Stella, are teaching and delighting? If so, how? What are they teaching? How do they delight? Because you see a lot of different things going on with Astrophil and Stella. In particular, the idea that Astrophil doesn't get the girl in the end, and that doesn't always turn out in that particular way with the happy ending. And then as you move to Shakespeare's sonnets, you're going to see some very unique things there that are not traditionally considered part of the whole romantic ideas. For example, you have Shakespeare for the first chunk of the sonnet sequence. Most of those sonnets are written to a young man and not to a young lady. And scholars have debated this. I talk about this in the lecture video for a while, but you'll see that Shakespeare's real emphasis in these sonnets, in these early ones, are the ravishes of time and how do we keep life going since time is constantly a threat to end our lives. And you see him move on to discussing some other things and presenting some different ideas about love later on in the sonnet sequence, or in his sonnets. I don't think they're actually a sequence. So anyway, I think this is going to be a really fun exploration. You've got less to read this week, so some of you are probably like, okay, thank you, right? There's not as many poems, but that gives you the opportunity to dig into them very deeply and to think through the ideas. And I actually think you'll really enjoy reading them, because I do believe these are some of the best examples we have of Renaissance courtly love poetry. So have fun with it, and I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, and for the rest of the week, it's a standard week, so it's discussion board post due by Friday with comments due by Saturday. So take care, everybody. Let me know if you need anything.